دكتور عقاب علزاي أستاذ الدراسات الاستراتيجية ومساعد لرئيس الأمريكي دونالد ترامب.
Professor of Strategic Studies.
العاصمة وضيفي الكريم السيد عقاب.
Dr. Auqaab, the question for you, Dr. Auqaab. In a time where President Trump's tone is escalating against Iran, Pakistan again blames the mediator role by inviting the Iranian foreign minister to Islamabad. What Islamabad is trying to achieve before having a broadened confrontation in this region? Trump himself has a warning from having a big strike soon.
Well, Trump has been saying he's going to have big strikes all the time. So we can't take that for as a guarantee. I mean, we got to take it with a pinch of salt. And at the end of the day, he's mentioned this many times before and then backtracked. So I think what is happening here as far as Foreign Minister Ishaq and his invitation for Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi to come to Islamabad is not just for frivolity, it's not just telephone diplomacy. This is actually Pakistan pushing diplomacy, pushing mediation, because they want Iran to come to some form of understanding now. The fact of the matter is it's gone too far, and we want to understand exactly what the position is, and that can only be really done through direct face-to-face talks between the mediators and the parties involved. So Pakistan is doing this so that Iran would hopefully attend, but there's no given date right now. There's no agenda. There's nothing published about what they're going to talk about. It could be anything, but given the timing and because Qatar is pushing forward the ideas of the proposal and Oman is actively working with Iran on the technical issues, Pakistan is playing the strategic position and the political aspects on understanding the wider picture and bringing both parties together somehow. The idea is to talk together face to face, to talk about the real situation and what they really want. And then Pakistan can also talk to the United States, their delegation, whoever it may be, more likely than not J.D. Vance, to talk about exactly what it is that they can settle on. And I think I agree with when we talk about the necessity and the necessity to come to some form of agreement on a peripheral issue and then work on the core issues. But I don't think that Iran is going to move on Hormuz Strait because that's its biggest leverage. It's the biggest leverage it has against the United States. And it was never an issue before, but Iran consistently said before this war that
the necessity to have an agreement. Pakistan, by the Prime Minister, the Pakistani Prime Minister stated more than one time that there are some parties who want to make this negotiations fail. Do you think these parties who want to fail the negotiation are still working and active, Dr. Auqaab?
Obviously, we know who that party is. You don't want to name it, but it's Israel. Israel wants it to fail. Israel does not want an agreement between the United States and Iran, so it will do whatever it can. And the recent visit of Netanyahu to Washington for Leslie Graham's funeral, he took that chance to have direct negotiations with, I think, telling Trump what he wants. And he's pushed that action. But I think once Netanyahu left, after a few days of kinetic action, they backtracked again because he's realizing that when something like this happens, the economy and the global economy is affected. The crude oil goes up to 100. That devastates even America. And nobody is immune to this. So what happens is that he's got to backtrack and he's got to take time for himself to calm things down. And in fact, even the Brent crude has gone down 4% more. So it's drifting down when the good news is occurring.
Dr. Auqaab, also in Pakistan, we have in some circles saying that there are other parties who refuse to have an agreement in Iran. They also refuse to have an agreement and want to fail this agreement, Dr. Auqaab.
In Iran, are you saying in Iran there are parties who don't think this should happen? I think we know there are hawks on either side in the United States and in Iran. There are hawks, but there are doves. There are people who know exactly what is happening. The foreign minister of Iran knows exactly what the situation is. There's many people who don't understand exactly what the play is and how it's been affected. A lot of people are anxious about what's going on, whether Iran will give its power up. But the fact of the matter is, I think the whole world is waiting on both parties to get together. And the only way this issue is going to be resolved, there's no other way, is by talking, by direct face-to-face talking, which Pakistan is trying to facilitate. That's the best thing it can do. Qatar is making its attempt to do the proposals and shuttle between the two countries. Pakistan is looking at the strategic political issue, and Oman is trying to talk about technical issues about how to navigate. Iran wants incoming ships, and it's saying that Oman should have the outgoing ships and try to organize something, but it wants fees levied. And these are the crux of the issue, which the United States doesn't want to negotiate on. So there's got to be some gift from somewhere for it to occur. Iran is hanging in there because it can. It can hang in there. The United States, meaning the Trump administration, cannot. Midterms are coming. Pressure is building. Domestic pressure is immense on Donald Trump, and he's facing it. So he's under pressure from outside by Netanyahu on what they want, which is the whole point of the war in the first place. And he's realized that he shouldn't have gone into this. But now he's trying to come out with the win. Many people are saying in the United States, why doesn't Donald Trump just declare victory and end it? Because he's done so much damage on Iran anyway. So that may well be the case. And if Iran can hang in there with a few bridges gone and maybe some aspects of its infrastructure gone, it can resupply the long term.
وسيطرة إيران على هذا المضيق، وأن السفن تدخل عن طريق إيران وتخرج عن طريق سلطنة عمان. فرض الرسوم الإيرانية على مضيق هرمز والسيطرة بشكل عام على مضيق هرمز هو من الأمور المهمة للغاية والتي يصر عليها الجانب الإيراني. هل هذا الأمر قد يعقد التوصل إلى اتفاق غدا الذي تحدث عنه وزير الخزانة الأمريكي؟
طيب سؤال مهم أستاذ كمال، ولكن ربما الأهم ماذا
تفكرون mentioned in your question was for the guest in Pakistan, and allow me in less than 1 minute. I would like to disagree with your guest when you asked him about some parties in Iran who want to fill the agreement. I think this is a key question which could justify why these negotiations have failed in several phases in this past. As we know, this negotiation was supposed to end a bloody war, but we have seen a failure several times.
دكتور عاطف، رأيت ضيف الكريم الدكتور عقاب يود
Dr. Auqaab wants to give a comment. Dr. Auqaab, you have the word. Go ahead.
Thank you. What I wanted to say is that, yes, IRGC has consolidated its position within because of the war. There's no doubt about that. I think there's an agreement on that, but that was never an issue. The issue was more for the fact that Iran cannot seem to be giving in and reducing itself based on coercive diplomacy. On bombardment, once it starts giving in on a bombardment, I can guarantee that Netanyahu would push for more bombardment to have more concessions from Iran. So Iran, in essence, cannot give in. And Iran has been consistent in its position. It signed the MOU. It was consistent in this. It never gave in that respect. It's not going to give in now. I don't think so. This is a matter of waiting until the Trump administration has no choice but to give in certain concessions because the midterms are coming. I think that's where the pressure lies on Donald Trump. That's why he's trying to inflict as much damage as possible to coerce Iran to do so. But Iran has taken many years of punishment when it was in the war with Iraq, and it survived, and it did very well in that respect. 1 million people died there, if you remember, and it's willing to take that sacrifice. It's not a Western country. It doesn't see the value of life in the same way as Americans may, or each individual person. It will take many thousands of dead before it crumbles, and I don't think it will right now. Right now, it's consolidated its position. But that was never an issue. I think we're all recognizing this. The fact of the matter is, Iran will not bow its head. It's a proud nation and proud people.
But I have only 1 minute. They also like to say so much of to thank my guest, but I'd like to thank Dr. Auqaab Alizai, Professor of Strategic Studies. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.